So, is everybody as excited as I am? This is the very first Sopher Life Motivation Monday video, and I am hoping that I can answer a lot of questions and tell you a little bit about who I am, what Sopher Life is, and what I personally and the team, that awesome team that is helping me and guiding me, is going to try to share with the world going forward. So first, my name is Rachel Artist. If you already don't know who I am, you can find me on Facebook as Rachel Artist. Right now, my profile picture is set to a challenge that some wonderfully talented ladies and I have right now, and that is a court reporter in a hot pink suit, and the words say, "Behind this reporter is a scopist," and that's me. I am a scopist. I've been scoping for about 5 years. I use Case Catalyst almost exclusively. I am able to scope on Digital Cat and Eclipse as well, although I don't have those two softwares right now. Maybe that will change, but right now I am Case Catalyst only. I also train and teach other scopists anything that they want to know about the business, where they would like to get better quality clients to work for, or they want to increase their speed of scoping, or they just have some sort of issue. I help and give as much support as possible. So I've been doing that also for about 2 years. I also train people that just have never even heard of scoping and want to learn, which is a very tall order, because most people don't know about what a scopist is, what this industry is about. So for those of you who are watching that do not know what a scopist is and has nothing to do with this industry, because I do have an audience that doesn't know anything about it. So let me take a brief pause and kind of interject what that is. So everyone, I'm sure, has seen court reporters in court typing the record. While they are typing it, there is a software that is being used to convert their stenotype language that the machine is producing into English. And when they are done with the file, it needs to be edited. And that does take time, and that's time that they're not getting compensated for directly. And so a lot of reporters choose to use someone to edit that transcript. So we listen to full audio, or I do. In my business, I listen to full audio, and I read everything that the system translated into English, and I make sure there's no mistakes, and if there are, I fix them. I make sure that every single solitary word of the proceedings that I hear on audio is in there. I also do punctuation, formatting, make sure all the speakers are properly identified, and complete that transcript. I send it back to the reporter, and the reporters that I work with go back over it, any checks, any questions that I had along the way, because again, I'm limited because I'm not in the room while they're scoping it. Now, the interesting thing is, in other countries, just a side note for those that don't know, in other countries, scopists will sit in the room with the reporter and edit live. So they do have that added benefit of being there. But in this country, the United States, that is not done typically, from what I know. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. So that is what a scopist does. I send it back. They either send it to a proofreader, proofread it themselves, and send the transcript out. Court reporters and scopists alike get compensated by the page. So I do not get paid by the hour. We get paid by the page. And we negotiate those terms, and we get it taken care of. So that's what a scopist does. There's a lot of things that are involved in it. There's a lot of schools of thought about how you can become a scopist, and what makes a scopist qualified and what doesn't make a scopist qualified. And let me just tell you a little bit about how I became a scopist. I was in school to become a court reporter. I went to the first school, which I'm sure anyone who has been to school for a court reporter, you can throw a rock and hit someone who has a story similar to mine. But this is my story. The first school that I went to, I used financial aid services to help assist in the payment of the tuition. And about 6 months into the program, myself and another classmate of mine find that there are issues. There are accusations of embezzlement and all sorts of different things going on with the school. And then when we really found out what it was we were supposed to be learning, we weren't learning that at all. So what I accomplished in that school was Phoenix theory. So I got through a few of my theory classes and I learned steno. What theory means, for those that don't know, is the method of steno, or the type of steno that you learn. There's different types of theories. I learned Phoenix, and that's just how to best type a word using which letters and on the actual writer, the actual machine. So I did that. I got discouraged when the issues happened with the school. I left the school and I went to another school, which was much better, much more reputable, and I learned a lot. And in that class that I was taking, I had to take theory again because my credits, of course, did not transfer. And one of the teachers told me that she would like all of her students to start scoping as a way to get familiar with looking at a transcript, what a transcript is supposed to look like. And that's what I did. So I didn't know anyone in the industry. I went on a couple of websites. I sent out some emails based on some email addresses that I found where reporters were, and I got a response back in 5 minutes. Ironically, from another scopist that needed help. She was backlogged, and she offered to mentor me and train me. And so she did over the phone. I have never, to this day, I have not laid eyes on her. I haven't met her, but she is a great lady. She's a great scopist. She's very talented, very patient, and she worked with me. She was in the same situation that I had been. She was going to court reporting school and decided she wanted to scope. She couldn't pass, I think it was her 180 speed. And so she does essentially what I do now. She trains other people and she scopes. So I learned from her, and she sent me work and I did it, and she would review it and give me feedback. And I did this process for a while. I charged a lower rate just to be able to kind of break into the industry and get my feet wet. I applied everything as best that I could, what she trained me to do. I also learned Case Catalyst as best I could, being a part of forums on Facebook and other areas where I could learn how the software works the best. So that was kind of how I became a scopist. It was hard work. I definitely have, I'm sure, as every scopist does or every reporter does, days that were nightmares, and I had nightmare transcripts while I was learning, but it got my feet wet and it prepared me for where I am today. And I'm so grateful for how I learned. So now I have anywhere between 8 and 10 reporters that I do work for. Some of them I do more work than others, but it's about 8 to 10. And that's how I do that. So, what is Sopher Life? Well, I know I explained earlier that a Sopher is a scribe, a writer. And Sopher Life, for me, I didn't really realize how much scoping would totally take over my world. It really has. It's very time consuming, and you're constantly, I don't know about any other scopist, but I'm constantly thinking of ways, exploring ways to be more creative with what it is that I'm doing, to be more organized, to be more efficient. And through that process, I have helped more people than I care to count right now with their own issues and their own things that they were trying to overcome. And so I feel like there is a gap in social media when it comes to reporting and scoping, and there's a veil over our industry. And some people like that veil is there, and some people that are trying to make an honest living and desire to come into the industry have a very hard time for different reasons. And I am trying my best through social media, YouTube, Snapchat, Facebook, any means that I have access to talk about our industry in a positive way, to give my perspective. My perspective is not the only one, but I feel like it's a credible one, and I feel like it's one that has worked for me and my family, and it also works for the clients that I represent. And so I'm hoping that I can show in a very real, genuine, and down-to-earth way other people that are interested about coming into this industry, other people that want to improve upon whatever skill set they currently have, to come on in and see if it's something that will fit them. There are all different schools of thought about how one needs to become a scopist and what makes a qualified one, and I'm not here to argue with those schools of thought, just give mine. And so I hope to do that. So I will be interviewing people on a weekly basis in the industry, people that are reporters, other scopists, other proofreaders, firm owners, attorneys, just anyone in the industry that has a voice and wants to contribute to the story, and contribute to the thread of what I am trying to stitch and create here, will be welcome. So if you are watching this and you have something to say that you think is relevant or poignant to this story and this cause and this industry, then by all means contact me. Send me a message on Facebook. That's the easiest, fastest way to reach me. My Facebook page, Sopher and Associates, and or Snapchat, Sopher Life. Everything is Sopher Life. You should be able to find me there. So what does Sopher Life mean to me? Well, no. For those who don't know me personally, I'm 29 years old, and I have always wanted to be an entrepreneur. This is something that I've wanted it all my life. I always knew in the back of my mind I was not created to work a 9-to-5 job. I was not created to write someone else's story. I wanted to write my own story. And sometimes that story changes. It's not the same thing every day, but I want to be free to edit it. And I want to be free to change things, add things, take things away, and really give my best effort at being as creative as possible to do things that make me happy and jive with or go along with, work in harmony with my path and what it is that I'm trying to do with my life. And Sopher Life is what that means. So even if you are not a court reporter or a scopist or even interested in being in this industry, I do hope that these videos and my content and just my general attitude for life is something that you can benefit from. And so Sopher Life, all of that means is, if there's any way that I can help or I can assist, I will be writing my own story every day. And I hope that in some small way, I can contribute to you writing your own. So when you see that hashtag, know what that means. That's what it means to me, and that's what it represents. And I will try to do my best to create that as a brand, in a way that people can benefit and people can get motivation from and get inspired to do something that may seem scary, or people that may have conflicting opinions about it, but to do it in a way that feels authentic to you. And I just hope to be a vessel or a person that can assist you in doing that. So for everyone watching this, I thank you for giving me this 13 minutes and 10 seconds of your life to understand what Sopher Life is about. If you have any questions, you have any feedback, there's any type of content that you want to see, just let me know and I will get back to you. So Motivation Monday, I hope you were inspired, and I'll talk with you soon.